Hi, we're here at London's Design Museum to check out the Designs of the Year competition 2014. The work on show includes both digital and real work across a broad range of disciplines. Let's go check it out.
So many pieces here that have been funded by Kickstarter. So, whereas I think it's a kind of new thing for this year, there are, I think, 8 projects that are Kickstarter projects, so that designers being able to use the net community to seek funding for their projects, so they don't have to wait around for a manufacturer or to see the right person. They can be proactive, and that's been a great thing. Particularly younger startups, people with a good idea or a niche idea. So it's either the young or something like the Bradley timepiece, where it's a watch that is for partially sighted or blind people, which perhaps might be considered a sort of a risk. Who would buy it? Will it be who would it appeal to? But by using Kickstarter, designers like that can get the money and give it a go.
I'm part of the team of Citymapper. I do the design and branding, and we're about a team of 10 people. Founded in London. Citymapper came up, the MVP, so to say, was Bus Mapper. That was the original app which we started with. It was kind of the idea of opening up the buses to London citizens. And as that grew a lot of energy, there was clearly something there, so we expanded the concept from just buses to be Citymapper, which basically, in a nutshell, on the surface it's about getting from A to B, but actually, like, more conceptually speaking, it's more about how can we make cities usable? How can we take the city off your mind, just provide you with the information you need right now to get from A to B, but also in a sense, like, smartphones are context aware, they know your current location, plus the movement on open data. There's just so much rich information out there, and we as a design-driven company kind of take all that data. Like London, for example, is made up of 11 or 12 different sources. We have TfL as a strong one for schedules and live disruptions. We have Foursquare for location data. We have Forecast.io for weather. We have OpenStreetMaps for walking directions, cycle streets. So there's all this rich data, and our job kind of is, from a design and UX perspective, take all the data and mold it into something that's a pleasurable experience and kind of a design-focused user as simple as possible. And just injecting into the serious space of public transport, it's always late, it's always full, it's always kind of tedious to get around, to understand the city. And just by kind of answering to all those questions with a bit of humor and a bit of quirky sense of things, we have like joke modes, for example. You can take the teleporter or the jetpack, or we tell you how many jelly deals you burn when you take the bike. So there's always this moment of kind of delighting and surprise and humor and like lots of Easter eggs. And so I guess in comparison to the other players out there, it is on the product focusedness of it, and on the UI and on the ease of use.
I guess kind of trying to make it feel more human.
And yeah, that's definitely an aspect. Like, for example, our 3 main buttons: get me somewhere, get me home, and get me to work. Kind of just by naming these buttons the way they actually, and instead of just calling them route planner or work and home, we just have try to keep a human voice to everything. And I guess it is true that the smartphones are just such a natural extension of ourselves by now. It's kind of you have such a close relationship to your smartphone and to your device. It's so building on top of that relationship and answering the way a human would answer is kind of also a big part of what we do.
So this is our Lego calendar, our beloved Lego calendar. It's an invention which basically is an enormous like wall planner, where the Lego bricks represent moments of time, like a huge calendar. And we use it to organize ourselves in the studio. But if you take a photo of it with your phone and email that photo to a special address, it translates all that information and puts it onto your digital calendar. Everyone we know kind of always wants to improve how they organize themselves, and we kind of thought, well, we're inventors, let's really kind of try and crack the problem. And we like digital calendars, but they're always on screens like that big. and when you're planning 3 months ahead, like this is very difficult to do. So we'd be using whiteboards, printing stuff out, post-its. So we thought, let's make something enormous, big and physical, and easy to use, that doesn't look messy. So we thought Lego's perfect because you can't really make a mess with Lego. And then we thought, wouldn't it be great if we could get the best of both worlds? So we've got the huge physical thing, but can we get something digital as well? And then that's where this idea of translating all the info into kind of digital content came from. The digital bit is quite interesting because it's almost like Lego in itself as well. We're using a lot of open source components, computer vision software, and putting it together in such a way that it allows us to kind of work out the color and position of each block. So it's kind of like Lego in physical and digital. Since putting it online, about 8 people around the world have actually built their own ones. We're going to be putting up plans as well so people can start making them too. So it's really interesting, like we're really kind of evolving.
So my name is Oscar Lamit and I'm one of the founders of Sidekick Creatives, and we're the first collective that helps people doing Kickstarter campaigns or Indiegogo, any crowdfunding campaigns. Essentially 2 years ago I started my own campaign for one of my products and it was really successful, but it's because I had some friends who could do a video. I knew how to tell the right story and how to do a good pitch. And Kickstarter is such a new thing, but very few people know what it takes to actually tell the right story and ask the crowd for support. So we're actually essentially a collective of designers and filmmakers who help people telling the right story, doing the right pitch. And we launched the campaign with them, we take the risk with them, and if it's successful, everyone's happy. Most of the people think it's about money, but it's the direct opposite. If you want to ask money, don't talk about money. It's just about storytelling and how to actually embrace the crowd to support you because they are supporting you then. We've been doing campaigns in fashion, in publishing, products, in technology, and it's for every campaign it was people who were backing it and because they just want to be part of this. We're only doing creative campaigns. We're only interested in the creative field where it's design or art. And next is we've got some few campaigns lined up, and yeah, it's like keep doing more.